Hi everyone. So for today's math lesson, you are going to need a piece of paper and a pencil to write with. We took a little break yesterday and let you just kind of watch the lesson and then take a little quiz with it. But today we do need to write down some things. So on your paper at the top, go ahead and put math and then 4, 29, 20. Go ahead and put that at the top of your paper. And before we watch our video, I'm going to review something really quick. You don't have to write this down. Just make sure you have the title at the top of your paper and pause the video if you need more time, because I really want you to make sure you're listening when I explain this. So go ahead and write all that out. So what I wanted to make sure is that you understand what I mean when I say the tens place and the ones place of a number. Let's first understand what it means to have one digit or a two-digit number. If you look at today's date, 4/29/20, the number 4 is just a one-digit number. There's only one digit, one number. If we look at the number 29, that is a two-digit number. There's two different numbers, two digits. If we look at the number 20, that is also a two-digit number. There's two numbers in there, 2 and 0. There's two digits involved. And remember, 4 is just a one-digit number. So if I have, let's say the number 30, and we'll do the number 25, and the number 74. Okay, so I have three numbers here. They are all two-digit numbers, right? There's two digits in each number. If I want to figure out for this first number, number 30, what number is in the ones place? Not the tens place, but what number is in the ones place? The 0, right? The 0 is in the ones place. The 3 is in the tens place. The number 30 is made up of 3 tens and 0 ones. So the 3 is in the tens place, the 0 is in the ones place. Now, can you guess, before I say it, which number in the number 25 is in the tens place? Which of those numbers tells us how many tens are in that number? The 2, right? The 2 is in the tens place. And what does that mean for the number 5? That means the 5 is in the ones place, right? Now that you're getting better at this, for number 74, which number is in the ones place, not the tens place, but how many ones are in the number 74? Which number is in the ones place? 74 has the number 4 in the ones place, and in the tens place is the number 7. And just so you can see those numbers kind of written out, over the number 30, I'll have the word tens and ones. So for the number 30, the 3 is in the tens place and the 0 is in the ones place. For 25, the 2 is in the tens place, the 5 is in the ones place. In number 74, the 7 is in the tens place and the 4 is in the ones place. That'll definitely help you understand this lesson a little bit more. So now that you wrote your title, we understand what the ones place and the tens place is, let's go ahead and watch our video. All right, so let's start.
This is part of a 100 chart. It starts at 1. What number does it end at? It ends at 60. What numbers are colored?
All right, so before they tell us, I want you to say out loud what these numbers are. So what numbers first? Okay, let's see if you're right.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. What do you notice about the ones place of the colored numbers? It is always 0. What do you notice about the tens place of the colored numbers? It goes up by 1 each time. What number are you counting by when you count the colored numbers? You are counting by tens. Now look at the groups of cubes. What do you notice about these numbers?
What do you notice about these numbers? You can go ahead and say it out loud. Just notice that each cube set, this long set right here, has 10 cubes. This set right here has 10 as well, but when you add this top and this bottom together, it gave us 20. So you can count by tens in order to figure out how many cubes there are all together, because each row has 10. So you can notice they're counting from 10 to 20.
They are the same as the colored numbers in the chart. How many cubes are there in each group? There are 10 cubes in each group. So every time you count a group, how many more cubes are you counting on?
You're counting 10 more cubes, aren't you?
Drag groups of cubes to the mat to count by tens.
All right, so let's try counting by tens. I have one set here, so what number does that give me? 10. Now how many? 20. Count out loud. How many now? 30, 40, 50, 60. So that means there are 60 cubes altogether. And notice how quick it was to count. Instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 60, because we knew that each one had 10, we were able to count by tens to figure out the number a lot quicker.
Each time you add a group, you count on by 10 cubes. Decade means a group of 10, so each of these numbers can be called a decade number. What is the decade number just before 30? 20 is the decade number just before 30. What is the decade number just after 50? 60 is the decade number just after 50. What is the decade number just before 60? 50. Now you know how to count by tens. Great job!
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to our interactive notebook and do a couple problems with you. Your homework today may consist of you doing some of these pages, so you might be ending up on Envisions as well. Let me go ahead and get rid of the date. There we go. All right, let's see what question they have for us. All right, color all the boxes of the numbers that have a 0 in the ones place as you count them out loud. Tell how you know which numbers to count. All right, so I need to color all the boxes of the numbers that have a 0 in the ones place. All right, so let's see. Do you see any numbers in here that have a 0 in the ones place? These all have 8s in the ones place. These all have 9s. Oh, these all have 0s, don't they, in the ones place? So I believe all of these need to be colored in because they're asking us to color in all the numbers with a 0 in the ones place. So these are the only ones. So I'm going to get my pencil and I want you guys to count the numbers as I color them in. I'll go ahead and count with you this time, but I need y'all to count out loud. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. There we go. And I knew to do these numbers because they all had zeros in that ones place, right? If I was looking at these numbers, they all have ones in the ones place. In this row or this column right here, I'll have threes in the ones place. So I knew that this was the correct row because they all had zeros in the ones place. All right, next problem. You recognize up here, this is something we just learned about in our video. Each 10 is, the number 10 is representing 10 cubes. 20 has 10 more cubes. 30 is 10 more cubes, so 10, 20, 30, you can count by tens to figure out how many. So for number 1, what does it say? Draw a circle around the decade number, and we know decade number is one of these tens numbers, right? The decade number. So draw a circle around the decade number that comes before 40, but after 20. So let's start with before 20 or before 40. What numbers come before 40? I found 40 here. 50 I know comes after 40, and I know 30 comes before 40. So all these numbers come before 40, 10, 20, and 30. But they also said it has to be after 20. So here's the number 20. So what number is after 20 but before 40? That would be the number 30, right? There we go. So we circled the correct one, 30. Now for number 2, let's see. I'll have you write something down soon, but not yet. I will not make you write it down right now. Number 2, look at the chart and then draw a circle around the missing number. All right, so I want y'all to think, what number is missing? What number is missing? We have 60, then it goes to 80, 90, 100. 60, 80, 90, 100. Is it 60, 50, 80, 90, 100? Is it 60, 60? No, because we'd be repeating ourselves. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100? Yes, it should be 70. So we would normally have a 70 right here, right? That's the missing number. It's 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, so on your paper, just so I can see that you're following along, go ahead and write the number 1, and I want you to write the number 30 right next to it. So you have your number 1, and next to the number 1 right here probably, you're going to write your number 30. So go ahead and put number 1 on your paper, just like that, and then put the number 30 next to it. And then also on your paper, you're going to have for number 2, you're going to write the answer 70 right next to number 2. So number 1 has an answer of 30. Number 2 has the answer of 70. See right here, 70, 30. So if you need to, you can pause your video. You do not have to write all these numbers. All you have to do for number 1 is write the number 30, and number 2, write the number 70. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next page. All right, so we are on number 30 now. Let's see what they want us to do. Draw a circle around the missing numbers in the following pattern. Okay, so let's listen carefully. So I'm gonna read some numbers out loud, and we gotta figure out which number is missing. So just start thinking what it should be sounding like when I count. So let's see. 10, 20, 30, blank, 50, blank. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 50. So which numbers are missing? So it's hard for me to be able to read both, but I'm saying 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, 100. So there's some missing numbers there. Let's start with the first missing number. 10, 20, 30, what? 10, 20, 30, what am I not saying? 40. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, blank. I'm missing 60. And then I say, let's say, okay. So which number am I forgetting to say now? So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100. Which two numbers did I just not say? So I'm going to say 60, 70, 100. I didn't say 80, did I? And I didn't say 90. Okay. So for number 3, I want you to write the numbers 40, 60, 80, and 90. And let me see if I can type something for you. This is what I want you to put: 40, 60, 80, 90, because those were our missing numbers. I'm sorry if that was confusing. It's because I couldn't read it and show you at the same time. So for number 3, next to number 3 on your paper, you should write 40, 60, 80, and 90. And then we're going to move on to number 40, right? Or number 4, my bad. Number 4. Count the cubes and then draw a circle around the number that tells how many. Okay, so we got to count the cubes. And you notice each set of cubes right here has 10. They're in groups of 10s. So that means the easiest way for us to count all these is to count by 10s, right? So let's start off by saying 10, 20, 30. So I have 10 here, 20, and then 30, right? So 10 here, 20, 30. So how many do I have altogether? 30, right? So I want you to count these cubes by yourself now. So say 10, 20, 30. We're counting by 10s. We got 30 though. We ended on the number 30. So for number 4, I want you to write the number 30. So go ahead and pause the video and take a minute to write the number 30. The number 30. All right, so number 5, we are going to count by 10s again to find out how many cubes altogether there are. Now, we definitely don't feel like counting one by one, right? No, definitely not. That would take way too long. Let's count by 10s because each row here has a group of 10. So let's count by 10s to find out how many cubes there are. So count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So how many are there altogether? 70. So for number 5 on your paper, I want you to put 70. There we go. Okay, so you wrote the number 70. And now we're going to go to number 6. And guess what? You are going to count all by yourself by 10s. So we just did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and circled 70. So for number 6 on your paper, you need to count how many there are here, and I need you to write the correct number. So I want you to try to do it. I will go through each row so you don't lose count. So go ahead and say 10, okay, you should know which number that it is now. So go ahead and write which of these 3 numbers you feel like is correct. You can always pause the video and count again by 10s. So remember 10, 20, 30, and just keep counting until you get your last number. And then go ahead and write which of these numbers is correct. So was there 80? Was there 90? Or was there 100? I can't wait to see what you guys came up with. If you want, on your paper, you can circle the answer you got, so it's easier for me to find. Okay. So a couple more. So we're going to count these, but as we count, we're going to write the number down, and we're going to circle how many there are altogether. All right, so we know there's 10 up here, right? So I'm going to put 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So how many are there altogether? There are 60. So let me circle 60. So for number 7, go ahead and write the number 60. All right, so number 7, you wrote the number 60 down. Let's see. Okay, now what you're going to do on your own, I am going to assign you some homework. You're going to do these pages yourself. You will have to have someone read to you the instructions. But before you go do that, for number 9, I want you to write the number 9 on your paper. This is the last thing I'm going to have you do. You're going to write your decade numbers in order. So you know you can say them 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like that. I want you to write them. Make sure there's spaces between each number, just like finger spaces when we write words. You need to make sure your numbers are spread out. So I'll go ahead and write the first 2 numbers with you, just so you understand what I'm saying. But I want you to write all of your decade numbers all the way to 100. So we know we have to start with the number 10. So on your paper for number 9, you're going to write 10 and then finger space, 20, and then just keep going with your decade numbers all the way to 100. So go ahead and do that, and then you're going to get on Envisions, and you're going to do the 2 homework pages. All right, good luck with that, guys. If you need to, you can pause the video, you can rewind it, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording while you write your decade numbers, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way to 100. All right, see you guys later.